Welcome back 40k fans to another battle report from Twisted Dice. I'm Darren and today we have got Tyranids facing off my very own Grey Knights. Welcome to the mission, Abandoned Sanctuaries. Today's mission consists of 4 objectives, and for the taken hold, is if you control one objective, you score 4 points. If you control 2 objectives, you will score 8 points. And if you control more than your opponent, you will score 12 victory points. For the second part of this mission, secure the sanctuaries. At the end of each player's turn, the player's turn scores 2 victory points if they satisfy one of the following conditions. 1, if they control an objective marker in the center of the battlefield. The second part is if they destroy at least one enemy unit within 6 inches of the center of the battlefield. At the start of their turn, they'll score 2 victory points. At the end of the battle, whoever's player controls the objective marker in the center of the battlefield scores 5 victory points. Today's mission has special rules, no man's land. If any unit has any abilities to start up before the game starts outside of their deployment zone, this is not allowed. And you cannot redeploy any units before the round starts outside into no man's land, meaning that all models must start within their own deployment zone at the beginning of turn 1. Welcome to my 2000 points of Silverblade's Grey Knights. In my Grey Knights detachment today, we're just going to be going with one single battalion. So for my first HQ choice, we're going to be going with a Grand Nemesis Dread Knight. He's going to have side cannon, flamer, and he's also going to be having the Great Hammer as well. Psychic wise, we're going to be going with Vortex of Doom and the Amplification. And then Warlord traits, we're going to be spending the CP so we can take 2 Warlord traits on him. So the first Warlord trait we're going to be going with is Martial Perfection, and the second one is going to be First to the Fray. For my second HQ choice, I'm going to be taking a Librarian. Psychic powers are going to be Sanctuary and Armour of Resilience. And I'm also going to be taking a Artifact as well on this fella. Troop wise, we're going to be going with 2 squads, 2 strike squads, 2 single squads of 5. No special extra bits added into these. These are going to be cheap and cheerful to hold the back lines. So next up, we're going to be taking a squad of 7 Terminators as my next troop choice. With Terminators having the new ability to have that -1 damage, -1 AP, can be that saving grace to make these a little bit stronger in this edition. Moving into my elites, I'm going to be taking an Apothecary. The Apothecary is designed to be going along with my Paladins. So when the Paladins start dropping down, just giving that ability to bring something back may be the great saving grace to this army. So moving back over to elites, I've got a squad of 10 Paladins, 1 armed with a Thunder Hammer. The rest I've just all got bolters. Moving into my fast attack, I'm going to be taking 2 squads of Interceptors, 1 squad of 10, 1 squad of 9. One squad is going to have 2 side cannons, as the other one's going to have 1 side cannon. Tyranids at the moment are quite strong, and in today's list, Mikey is going to be taking the Behemoth. The High Fleet's adaptation, Hyper-Aggression. Each time a unit with its adaptation fights, if it makes a charge move, was charged, or performs a heroic intervention this turn, until the fight is resolved, add 1 to the strength characteristics. This also allows your units to also reroll charge rolls, which makes this very, very strong for a close combat Tyranid army.
So my Warlord today is the Neurothrope. He has the Resonance Barb Relic for an extra power, which will be the Onslaught power. He also has Catalyst, Paroxysm, and every single High Fleet Psyker now knows the standard power for the High Fleet, so he also has Unstoppable Onslaught. He is my Warlord, so he has Synaptic Tendrils, which allows him to use Warp Siphon twice a turn. The second HQ choice for the Behemoth High Fleet, we have a Hive Tyrant with Lash Whip, Bone Sword, and he also has the Stranglethorn Cannon, but he's been upgraded to the Balethorn Cannon Relic. He has Horror and Catalyst. Okay. He also has the the Warlord trait, Adaptive Biology, so he always has a 5-up shrug. And my third HQ choice, my favourite model in the army, we have the Trigon Prime. This guy has a bio-artifact, so relic, which was the monstrous musculature from the Behemoth High Fleet, which gives him +1 damage for all of his attacks. He also has a Warlord trait, Heightened Senses, so he's got always strike first on him, and he re-rolls all hits. In my troop selections for this battalion, we have 3 troop selections. So we have 1 unit of 5 Tyranid warriors, kitted out as you see with scything talons and death spitters. Second troop's choice, we have a unit of 10 termagants with flesh borers. Nice simple objective sitters. And then with those guys, we have 30 hormagants, no upgrades, nothing. Just a big unit of very fast, very stabby bugs. In my elite section, we have 10 gene stealers with acid maw. They've 2 acid maws in there because it's you have 1 for every 4. Alongside the gene stealers inside the elite selection is Death Leaper. We all know how good this guy is. Very sneaky, switching off people's ability to use. And the third and final choice in the elite section is a unit of zone thropes. And these guys have Psychic Scream.
And then heavy.
We have 3 choices of fast attack slot. We have 1 unit of 3 Rippers. Now these guys are much maligned now. People don't think they're worth it because they don't have objectives secured, they're not troops. We'll see how well they do today. Sneaking in there, getting in the backfield, scoring some points. We have 1 unit of 5 Raveners. These guys have Rending Claws. They don't have any shooting weapons because if you don't equip them with a shooting weapon, you can re-roll hits of 1. And the final fast attack slot, we have a Morlock with a biostatic rattle. Much different now with the way he comes on the board, but he's still got 16 attacks, so you can't sniff at that. And in my heavy support slots today, I've only been bringing 2. And we've got an Exocrine, and this guy's been upgraded with Synaptic Enhancement Adaptive Physiology, which means he's a synapse creature. And finally, we have a Tyrannofex with an acid spray, and this guy's been upgraded with Dermic Symbiosis Adaptive Physiology, giving him a 4-up invul at all times.
For today's battle report, we're going to be using 3 types of terrain: ruins, craters and trees. Today's gaming map is going to be from jwgaming.co.uk, and it's the stone map. For the ruins, we're going to be using the Rusty Industrial set, which offers us scalable, breachable, light cover, defensible and obscuring. For the second terrain feature, we're going to be using craters, which offers light cover and difficult ground. And for the final terrain piece, this objective marker is going to be surrounded by trees, woods, which offers dense cover, breachable, defendable and difficult ground. Choosing secondaries on this mission was very difficult as both armies don't give much away, but drop some comments down below, let us know what secondaries you would have taken in this mission. And going into turn 1, Tyranids do win the roll-off.
You got a way to do loads of mortal wounds probably, I'm not sure. So what we're going to do is put the Neurothropes Synaptic Imperative on, which will give me +1 to psychic tests, +1 to deny tests.
Oh.
And each time a model is killed, slain by a mortal, takes a mortal wound, I ignore on a 5+.
In the command phase, Mikey places down a counter for where the Morlock is going to pop up in turn 2 in the reinforcement stage.
Actually, what we're going to do is we're going to start with Catalyst from this Neurothrope here onto the Hormagants with Warp Siphon on him. So there you go. I know you probably can't deny me from that range, but that just guarantees me having Catalyst off on those guys.
Very quick turn for the Tyranids turn 1. Leaving Mikey with 7 CP, 2 points on the primary and 3 points for holding Stranglehold.
Scanning.
So the first unit I'm going to cast a psychic spell going to be these guys here. So warp charge value of 6 is going to allow me to shoot and then move if it was my movement phase. It's going to allow me to shoot as if it was my shooting phase, but then allow me to move straight afterwards. It goes off. Shoot them first, and then we're going to get hell out of dodge because we have to. So needing freeze. 4s. Okay, so T4. 1. Okay. All of a sudden, my life choices are correct. Because that is not good.
And then where they're moving, jumping back behind there.
Okay, we're going to do Gate Infinity onto, see if we can get it off first of all. So the Terminators, they're going to cast off Hammer Hand, just in case anything comes down. Goes off. So at the end of that, it's quite a cagey little first turn. I can't afford to go too far forward, but look, this is going to be a real exploding second turn for the Tyranids. At the end of that turn, I do score nothing. Absolutely nothing. Oh, all of a sudden, I think I should have gone for like other things, but going into the command phase for turn 2 for the Tyranids, Michael does hold 3 objectives, give him a nice score of 12 on the primary.
The zoned rope one with all synapse creatures or anything within range of the synapse creature, because I feel like your next turn is going to be a bit more.
I think I can hold back another turn. I think I've got this in the bag. I could just like hold back and just do nothing all game. No worries, brother Captain, we've got this. Hold the lines for Titan.
The Tyrant will put rerolls of 1 onto the Raveners via bouncy. He'll put Warp Siphon onto the Hive Tyrant again and himself again, basically.
Mate, we've just like come down to this planet looking for like demons, like where are they all?
Now there's
and we just see a big old Hive Tyrant just chomping down on the Nurglin. Okay, boys, we're in trouble.
Be within 12 there to pass my synaptic link range of these guys to pass Unstoppable Onslaught onto them for +1 to wound and screen you out on this side as well. We're going to start with the important one, Unstoppable Onslaught from the Neurothrope onto the Raveners, bouncing it from synaptic link range into these guys. 3d6 +2 to cast because he's Resonance Barb and the Neurothrope's power himself.
Double 1.
Got 3 dice. I've got 3 dice. They're going to be wounding that guy on 2, and I will. I'll attempt to cast Paroxysm, so you're in synaptic link range from this guy there to there. All that is -1 for you to wound, and you can't fire Overwatch.
I can't fight. Are you kidding me?
So another 3 dice. So that only goes off on an 8.
Do Mikey. I'm going to do this hexonic ward thing on my dude, and he's going to go like Doctor Strange, like that. He's doing that right now. So it's 3 dice.
So I've cast that on an 8.
You can do it.
Your guy now has can't fire Overwatch and -1 to wound me.
All that shenanigans didn't do nothing.
It's
like fighting Squidward here.
Basically, the kid in Spider-Man No Way From Home who can't really do it very well. And then accidentally summons the other Spider-Man. Then we're just going to cast Catalyst with this guy, the Hive Tyrant, onto... and it does go off on a 5. Psychic phase, shooting phase. There's very little, because everything's hidden again. So, shooting phase is over. Just onto the charge phase.
Warning.
Which will be over here with the Raveners. So, right, and I rolled a double 6 just to rub it in. We've got 25 Ravener attacks here. I think I'm going to spend another CP to do Adrenal Surge to give them all +1 attack as well.
Pray for ones. There's a lot of ones.
Oh, there are some ones. Yeah.
Another one there.
And that is
Minus.
on your 4 because -4. Rending Claws, -4.
Oh, that's not bad. Alright, I've got 3 left.
Mm-hmm. So you can hit me back, but
But we're really degraded.
Yeah, but also what's even worse is I'm -1 to hit for my serpentine bodies.
But guess what?
And I'm -1 to.
I'm alright. I'm alright.
Because you're already -1 to hit because you've got hammer.
4s?
Even though you degraded down to the bottom.
Doesn't matter on this. The ballistic skill does degrade, but the weapon skill doesn't.
Oh, that's nice. Cool.
Yeah.
So, hitting on 4.
By the might of the Emperor, you're dead. Do you feel the Emperor's wrath? Hold on. I get to re-roll 1 hit and so I'm going to re-roll that 1 hit. It's my Warlord trait, which does hit.
And we're on 3s.
There you go.
So, no, I've accidentally moved myself out like an idiot.
What would that give you?
Would have given me a 5-up invuln for my sign up to comparative, but that's what I meant to have done, but I didn't.
My dude's gone like that. You took 10 wounds.
So that is what each? 3 damage.
3 damage. 3 plus 3, so minimum.
So
of 4.
it'll kill 3 of them.
Yeah.
Because the AP on it is
4.
And after the second round for the Tyranids, Mikey is coming in strong at 16 points for the primary, 9 for the secondary, giving a grand total of 25 points. It's all still to play for the Grey Knight. For the Masters of the Warp, we have chosen Tides of Shadow. This allows the Grey Knights always to benefit from having light cover. Combine that with Armour Contempt, makes the Grey Knights quite a strong army.
So first off, the Librarian is going to cast off Sanctuary on these boys to give me a 4-up Feel No Pain. 4-up Invulnerable save, so this guy
locked.
just here, and he's going to cast it onto these. He's going to go for Smite, which would be then onto that fella there. 5, so goes down to a 4, which does not go off. My Terminators are going to cast off. They're going to cast off Hammer Hands. Terminators there are going to cast off Hammer Hands, which does not go off. Oh wow, this is where the cold dice come in.
Next up is going to be the Grand Master Dread Knight, using the Empiric Amplification and targeting it upon the Paladins to give them that bonus on Nemesis weapons and side weapons.
Does not go off. Wow. And then we're going to do Smite. Does go off.
on a 6.
It doesn't go off because I got it off the first time. Yep.
Shadows in the Warp is a powerful little anti-psyker aura, having that -1 to cast for any psykers within 18 inches of a Tyranid Synopsis creature is very powerful, and it's becoming very, very tricky for myself to cast off even the basic spells.
So these guys, the Paladins, are going to go with Hammer Hands, and then they're going to cast off Smite.
Perils.
CP for a 6 does not go off. Oh, okay. They're going to cast off their one where they can shoot and then get out of dodge. So see if I get that off. Oh my god! I'm gonna have to rely on the old-fashioned way. I'm gonna go with Death on the Warp, and I'm gonna cast that off onto these guys here. 2 of the side cannons shooting onto that fella there. Needing 2s, which is +1 to hit, and then 3s, 4-ups. No way. Please don't go cold on me. Right.
5 up involves.
Do not roll hard.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dead. Well, it says 2 left.
Okay, can go with that. Okay, so we're going to go with these guys next. So they're going to go side bolt into those, and then everything else is going to start shooting into those. So side bolt, sorry,
Side cannon.
side cannon does do it, Mikey, for 1. 4. Freeze.
The Hormigants.
Yep.
So it'll be 5 up involves for being in synaptic range, synaptic comparative range. Followed by 5 up catalysts. So that's only 4 dead. 1, 2, 3.
Scanning. Target locked.
4s. It's not freeze.
5s and 5s again. So
2 more. So he is going to do onto him. He's going to do the flamer first of all. So 2d6. So he has to shoot into thing. For 5.
Armour save.
Yeah, -1.
So save 2 and then 1 damage.
Yeah, just 1.
Just come in. No.
So we're going to go with these guys here. Are going to shoot everything into
Target
the.
locked.
We're
Engage.
going to go shoot everything into the Hormigans. Here we go. Okay. Don't you do it. Don't you do it.
Shield in. 1 dead Hormigant.
Oh my god. Okay,
Scanning.
next lot of Terminators.
Target
We're going to
locked.
have to do the same. Do not save them. Do not save them.
None. So it's 3.
Paladins first. Charging into him.
The Morlock.
Charging through onto him. These boys are going to have a go at charging the Lictor. Because I can't be flapping out in the wind. Nope, can't do anything about that.
The first unit to activate is going to be the Paladins fighting up against the Morlock.
Hammer first of all, hitting into him. Freeze.
So you might as well hit. Only in combat.
2 wounds.
And save 1.
Got 1. Flat 3 damage. Yeah, the rest have just got 4 swords. So, freeze.
Ready to hit the first.
Damage.
Save 1. So it's 2 damage, say.
Yeah.
1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So kill him.
Yes, we got a debug. Does he? No, you're not permitted.
And after Mikey loses that big bug, he spends 2 CP to interrupt to fight the Gene Stealers into the Interceptors.
Freeze.
4.
2 dead.
Yeah, so we'll go with a hammer first of all. So 3 hits. No, it's not. It's 4 attacks. Hitting on 4s. 1 goes through straight into your invuln.
4 up invuln.
Yeah, loved it. Here we go. And freeze.
+1 strength. Not enough for us.
That gives me then. I scored 2 points, Mikey.
For engage.
Yeah. I feel big.
And at the end of the second round, Grey Knights only scoring 10 points. Those pesky Tyranids are definitely putting me in my place, and I'm finding a bit of a challenge to deal with. Going into the command phase for the Tyranids, Mikey holds 2 objectives, giving him 8 points on the primary. In the command phase, the Hive Tyrant is going to be putting the Will of the Hive Mine onto the Tyranid warriors, giving it that ability to reroll 1s to hit.
The Neurophrobe, again, is going to cast, put Warp Siphon on himself, but also the Zone Tropes.
Cool.
And the Trigon Prime is also going to be putting the Bio Impulse onto the warriors as well, giving it add 1 to advance and charge rolls. Going into the psychic phase, the Hive Tyrant is selecting the Trigon Prime for Catalyst.
6.
I'm going to try to dispel from Trey. This is where it doesn't happen. Yeah, of course it doesn't.
With getting Catalyst off, next up he goes for Smite, which unfortunately does get denied.
Actually, I'm going to cast Paroxysm onto the... So 3 dice pick. So 11, 12, 13.
Can't stop that.
So I'm going to cast Smite with the Neurophobia. It goes off on a 9, 10, 11. So Super Smite. 6 more wounds on those guys.
The Neurophobe has a special ability, Spirit Leech, which is really good. Any enemy unit within 18 inches of this model suffers a mortal wound. Select one friendly Neurophobe or Zoanthrope model within 12 inches of this model, and they gain back 1 mortal wound to a maximum of 3 per phase, making Neurophobes and Zoanthropes even more harder to shift. So next up on the Psychic block is going to be the Zoanthropes. They're going to be casting Smite on 3 dice. And casting 11 makes it Super Smite and very hard to stop.
Just, yeah.
Okay, he's going to have a go at denying. So
these guys, it's D6 for Super Smite plus 3 because there's that many models in it. So it's only that. So I'm going to spend a CP to put me back down to 7 because I've got to re-roll that. So that'll be 6 more wounds.
In the current meta, you're going to start seeing more Zoanthropes starting to appear in the battlefield. With Warp Blast having that ability to have 1 to the Psychic test and adding 1 to the number of mortal wounds dished out up to a maximum of 3, that is pretty tough.
To cast with these guys again. And they got Psychic Scream, so that'd be there.
yeah, sure.
On a 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That can't Super Smite. And then that's just the end of the Psychic phase. So it'd be shooting and Gaunt into those guys. Breeze. Psych 5s.
Tyranid Warriors next select the Paladins using the Death Spitters, range of 24 inches, strength 5, -2. It's going to do a lot of work.
So hitting you on 3s. Rerolling 1.
You still put it on.
He knocks my -2 off.
Going into the charge phase, the Death Leaper and the Tranifex both charge into the Interceptors. The Trigon Prime then charges into the Paladins. The first unit to activate is the Trigon Prime, with 12 attacks hitting on 3s and wounding on 3s, makes very short work of the Paladins. With the Death Leaper in range, it meant that I could not spend any CP to interrupt, leaving the Tervagon and the Death Leaper to wipe out my Interceptors. At the end of that battle round, Mikey absolutely obliterates the Paladins, putting Mikey on 24 points for the primary, 15 for the secondary, giving him a grand total of 39 points. I do apologise for the poor audio on Mikey's microphone. Unfortunately, going through turn 3 for Mikey, he accidentally pulls out the microphone, meaning we're not quite hearing exactly what he's saying. At the end of round 3, I do call it for the Grey Knights. Unfortunately, not being able to take enough bodies off the battlefield, meaning that next turn, Mikey's going to absolutely devastate me. At the end of that battle report, I do come away with 15 points. To Mikey's 55 points, the Tyranids took it away and won the show. And this Tyranid list, believe it or not, is not the strongest or optimised list out there. 3 of the big units for me that stood out for Mikey's army, the Neurophobe, having that ability to roll 3 dice when casting psychic spells made it so damn hard to deny, but you then adding in the Zoanthropes, having the Spirit Leech meant they were so difficult to shift, and plus the mortal wound output these guys push out make them a very, very strong choice. Plus that Shadow in the Warp, -1 to psychic powers, makes them a very good little combo. The unit that scared me the most, believe it or not, was actually the Tranifex. For some reason, I didn't want to come near him. With the Acid Spray having an 18-inch range, heavy D6 +6, strength 6, -3 AP, 2 damage, and automatically hitting, I just didn't want to come anywhere near him. And it did do wonders for Mikey, where he kept me at bay. As I lick my wounds and make my way back to Titan to report back on the devastation effects the Tyranids had upon this world, Hopefully next time when I come back, I'm going to come back with some force, some might, and make these Grey Knights proud. I've been your host, Darren. Hopefully you enjoyed this report, and hopefully I'll catch you all again soon.